Right.
Okay, David. So as we were saying, I have been on the most insane profit rip.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm just doing the same thing I always do, and it just works. I'm using this new thing. Gave me an idea for a topic today, which is trading worth it? So anyway, that's our topic. Is trading worth it?
Okay.
Well, I am going to let you start and let you tell me because I trained you about 2 years ago now, roughly. I think we went through that.
Has it
And
been 2 or 3?
um,
Somewhere around there. Yeah,
it might be going on three, but I'd like
right.
your input as to whether you think now is it all worth it?
I think it is. When you first trained me, it was very difficult to try to get into the system and try to understand what it is. People have a much different understanding of what trading does. They're like, well, it either goes up or down or everything else, or I'm losing money here. Why I got to get out.
Or it's gambling.
Yeah. Well,
I get
it's
that.
not. Yeah, I get that, but it's like acceptable gambling
Sure.
from a gambler. Yes, that is basically it's acceptable gambling. It's much more industry accept. Oh, I'm a trader. Oh, okay. Then it's like it's a real job. Not the I'm heading to Vegas and I'm doubling on all 11s. But there are giant similarities. In so that's what I took from because I play blackjack, and in blackjack you run a system which gives you a mathematical edge. Same thing here. That's why it translated pretty well to me because you but got to develop a system to go farther. Is it worth it? Yeah, I mean I've made some money at it. I will say I have not put as much time in the chair as I want to because life gets in the way. So
Right.
that's what my big problem is. It's like, okay, I have not been able to do what I like to call like a review.
Mhm.
Besides the bottom line, does my system work? Can I refine anything? I don't get the play time as much as that I want to.
That makes
And
sense.
that's my biggest issue right now. But on the side note, you know, if things are working, why change them? Well, I get that a lot too. It's like, well, because especially from the wife, why do you got to put in if it's working? Why do you have to? Well, because I need to. It's kind of like the thirst of knowledge of understanding.
Sure.
So I don't have to sit there for 3 or 4 hours a day looking at these and waiting for everything to settle or set up.
Right.
You know, if I can have something and use a computer to tell me, hey, this looks like a setup, you should take a look at this, that's going to cut down on my time. This way, now I can jump in there and say, look at the chart and say, yeah, that's what this has been going. I can get a feel of the market if I turn it back a couple bars and look. But that's what I'm looking at. It's how do I spend instead of spending the 3 or 4 hours in the chair that I need? And if you don't know what being in the chair is literally staring at charts, waiting for setups across the way and getting a feel for how the market moves. Is there some way easier that I could literally just get an alert and say, hey, you should look at this chart? And that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. That kind of translates to, is it worth it? Well, yeah, there's a lot of AIs out there that can help you start doing some of this. But if you don't understand the basics on anything, you're going to fail.
Right.
Because otherwise it's all smoke and mirrors.
Mhm.
Because if you don't know what the wicks on the, tall wicks mean going across the board, or, you got different patterns or what's the highest high and the lowest low and everything else like that. If you don't know the basics of how things are working,
Mhm.
you're not going to make it. So from my standpoint, yeah, it's worth it. It's fantastic. My kids see that too. So, at least one of them, um, does that all the time. He literally, made enough money, bought a huge monitor so he can see days at a time. Basically, he's got like 4 or 5 of them up on this 4-foot monitor.
Wow.
So, he's going a lot better off than dad sometimes. But yeah, I think it's also calming to me, if anything.
Wow,
Um,
there's a first for me. Usually people tell me it makes them a nervous wreck.
yeah, it did in the first part. because I was more worried about what everything was going. Was I leaving something on the table? Meaning, oh shoot, I was in this trade going the right way, and I got out at 10 pips, and it went another 20 pips. And then you have
Mhm.
like regret. Oh,
Right.
why didn't I let that run
Yeah.
instead of taking the win?
Yeah.
Or you make a decision and the thing immediately just cancels. I mean, you've got to get used to, as long as you're within that system of going up, if it's 10 pips, you put your loss rate at 5, you know, and then go from there. It's just, as long as you live with whatever system that is. So it's like, if you have 2 losses and 1 win, you're batting 0,
No, I mean, it
so
totally makes sense. Totally makes
it's
sense.
just, if you have that mindset, and that's the hardest thing to have, is that mindset. Oh, I lost.
For me, it's and I've been at it longer than you. I've been at it like let me do the math here.
Oh boy.
So
When you have to carry the one a couple times?
I think I'm getting really close to 30 years. If you asked me in the first 10 years, I would have said absolutely not because I blew up so many accounts, but I was experimenting with so many different things. I mean, I started with stocks and then moved on to mutual funds and then moved on to options and
Okay.
then moved on to futures and then finally have settled on Forex in the last, I'd say right around 2012. And I won't bore you with what the difference between all those markets are, but so this one is I like the best. Let's just leave it at that. But like you said, you kind of go on this journey. You explore all of the horse shit, and believe me, people, it is piled mountain high out there of all these little signals and strategies and gurus, and my God, it's just this is like the Wild West. It's
Okay.
like, and it's full of snake oil salesmen and bad guys, you know.
Yeah, no, I
Um
completely understand.
Everything and the information it took me a long time to figure this out, is purposefully convoluted so that you can never really quite figure out how simple this is to do. So that was my first 10 years, and then I started to, get better and better and better over the next 10, and I'd say this last 10, I kind of got it, and now it's just fighting a different thing, which is executing the same strategy and trying not to get bored. 'Cause
Mhm.
it's basically the same thing every day. But like you've seen,
Mm.
I've been on this terror for the last 2 weeks,
Yep.
and I've been doing, basically the same thing, and I can show you on this chart really quick because it doesn't. So, first off, wrote code to do the analysis for me, because analysis does, when you finally figure out what to do, it takes a long time, and it's very boring. So, what I use is a zigzag chart.
Mhm.
Okay, you can see the zigzags here. I use information about lows and highs, higher highs and lower lows. So my step one is, which way is the trend going? Okay. So I wrote the little AI that does it for me, but you can either look here and it says the trend's going up, or you can look at the line, or I even have a third thing, which I have turned off, which it colors the background. Okay.
Right.
So I can see so the trend is up here on AUUSD. Okay. Step number 2 is, where's the nearest support and resistance lines?
Mhm.
Well, there's one down. There's none on the chart right now. Maybe if I did this. Yeah, okay.
Well,
So my traditional system is showing a support line or a resistance line right here. Okay.
mhm.
But then I modified the AI to go back in time and basically say, wherever price is at right now, what is the closest support and resistance line? And that's what this is, and that's what this is, okay?
Yep.
So if I was to do my analysis on this right now, I would say I'm a little late to the party, but this is a good place to go on because it's going to go up from here because it's in a bullish swing right now. It's just touched support and it's heading for resistance. So literally, if I had to make this decision right now, I would go long and I would put my profit target right there. and I would put my stop loss right there, or maybe a little bit lower.
Yep.
So, that's the system. That's all there is to it. Sorry, it's not more complicated. But it just ain't. That's just the way this stuff works. Um, is it worth it? Yes. I've made more money than I could possibly ever imagine I would have ever made. That brings in a whole nother wagon of weirdness, which I won't
Mm.
go into. But the good side of that is it allows me to pursue things that I am truly interested in, like teaching and music, because I don't have to be dependent on what those folks make for a living to survive. I think it's probably the coolest thing that has come to me out of trading, plus the satisfaction of finally figuring out.
Yeah.
It's just like, because
Mhm.
this is like mental masturbation for the intelligence. It's probably the most frustrating puzzle I've ever had to figure out. When I figured it out, I was like, I am retarded because this is so simple. And
Yeah.
I just get you get scammed. You kind of get tricked into thinking it's really.
People overthink it.
Yes, yes. And because it brings out all your demons.
Mm.
By demons, I mean your bad habits. It clouds your critical thinking. Because
Yep.
you get all emotional about stuff. God, I could think of a few times, when I was first starting out, where I lost giant chunks of money and just lost my mind. I was
Mhm.
like, I remember having this recurring thought, like, I'm reasonably smart. This can't be this hard. Why does this never work?
That I understand.
Yeah. That was a hard thing for me to overcome, but once I did, then it was just like, oh, really, it really is an aha moment when you finally see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's different because I mean, it's just like you have these, especially when you first start out and you make a bunch of wins.
Right. Oh,
Then
that's
all
the
of a sudden
worst.
then you hit the losses,
Yeah.
and you're just like, "What am I doing wrong?" And you second guess everything, and you're just like,
Yeah.
"Oh."
Yeah. That's the worst thing that could possibly happen to a new trader is just have a hot run right off the beginning. Like,
Mhm.
as soon as I get in a run, I'm like, I'm getting very extremely cautious. I'm like freaking out, going, okay, what's going, when's the wave going to stop? See, that's the thing that people don't realize. Everything works in a trend. When
Mm.
everything, when prices are trending, pick your strategy. I don't care which one. They're all going to work.
Right.
And what people don't realize is then eventually it starts going sideways, and that's what kills people. That's when people get chewed up. That's when they go, "Oh my god, my system doesn't work anymore." That's all that's happened. It's literally that simple,
Mhm.
but you haven't learned to recognize what's going on yet. It's kinda like you haven't learned to read the tea leaves, and until you learn how to do that, I don't care what system you're using, you're gonna have spottiness. It's
Yeah.
gonna work sometimes, it's not gonna work other times. But,
So,
yeah, I would say, is it worth it? Yeah, for sure.
mhm.
It's a lot of work at first. You gotta I've taught a lot of people, and I haven't figured out a way to prevent them from, you know, fighting the monsters in the swamp. Um,
Yeah, that's the tough one.
they all do it in their own way. But it's
Everybody will trade on not push the button when it comes to real money.
yeah,
That's
the
the
bumper
biggest step.
factor. I was listening to a podcast the other day because I still listen to a lot of trading ones, and they were going on and on about how wonderful back testing is, and you gotta back test, you gotta do this, helps build your confidence and all that. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, this is the biggest line of horse shit I've ever heard in my life, right?
Mhm.
Back testing to me, and it's just my opinion, and the joke about opinions, but it's worthless to me because when you're looking backwards at someone who's collected data on pricing, and probably I'm jaded because you and I are both software people and
Mhm.
scientists and whatever, right? So we're used to dealing with data all the time.
Yeah.
So that data that you're looking at backwards has been scrubbed. Okay. So all the little anomalies and all the little bullshit that happens in a regular day, like you've never had this happen before, Dave, where price spikes up like 30 pips and knocks you out and then goes right back to where it was in a microsecond. Right.
Actually.
So that kind of stuff is not in that back tested data. Maybe there's this, you can buy it from somewhere, but it'll cost you a fortune. But for the
Oh,
average schmo, the data they hit that they're going to get, that little blip isn't going to be in there. And that little blip is the difference between whether your system works or not.
yeah.
And that's why don't get me wrong, I tried it, right? I've tried
Hmm.
everything, literally.
Yeah.
I'm like Johnny Cash. I've been everywhere, man. And that's how I learned by trial and error, things that work and things that do work. You can back test till your eyes turn blue, but it's not going to tell you what you're going to learn if you just sit in a chair and do it live every day. You have to experience that, that whole process. That's what gets it. And then one day, I can guarantee you, it might be in 3 months, it might be in 30 years, like me. You're just going to go, oh my God, that's all there is to it. And then you'll have like a crazy 3-week winning streak like I'm having right now.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, we'll see.
can
We'll
we
see
talk?
about that last trade, but that's okay.
Okay. Well, yeah. We'll
The,
see.
the,
We'll
the
see.
the Japanese government might bail you out.
That would be good. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be hilarious?
Oh, dude,
Oh,
that would be.
little
I would
flash,
laugh.
news flash.
Yeah.
Bank of
Price adjustment.
Central Bank of Japan adjustment just dropped 90 pips.
Ready to trade with an unfair advantage? Transform your results with the Syzygy AI Edge. We run on a value for value model. No ads, no sales pitches. If you got value from this video, hit the donate link in our bio to support the show. While you're there, grab our free strategy guide, join Algo's Overwatch on Slack, or download the Forex AI Sage app. It's all free at waveridertradingtechnologies.com. Like, subscribe, and trade smart.